And officially, good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome out to the Options Income Launchpad Monday opening bell. I am Scott, and I will be your host. Good morning, Sandy. Good to see you. All right, let's get started. As always, keep in mind, good morning, Vladimir. What we do is for education, illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do or say should be considered a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers, we're not advisors, and therefore don't give any personalized investment advice. Any decisions you make should be done so at your own risk, yada, yada, yada. Hello, Tony. Good to see you, sir. All right. Let's dive in. Let's just dive in. Market's open. Amazon made a little effort on Friday and is right back down on Monday. So let's pop over to here. It's not okay. So something's going on here. I'm pretty sure the S&P or the Russell is not up 3%, or is it? I guess it could be. No. That's like, what is going on with our data feeds? The Russell is down 0.38. I'm like, there's no way it's up 3%. So this is wrong. It's actually in line with these. Something weird on TOS too, huh? Interesting. The S&P is down 0.2. The Dow is 0.19. The NASDAQ is minus 0.39. And the Russell is down 0.36. No options showing up. Oh, okay. Oh. Not good. Gold is up 1%. Bitcoin is down another 3.5%. It's down at 68,000 on the south side. And we should look at that. We will. Let's just see what's going on here in our markets first. Goldman issues a warning to beat up software investors. Software is contending with a steadily more bearish narrative amplified by each new release. Okay. Live is having an issue. Oh. I'm going to take a quick look on my side. Those are sometimes regional issues based on like what server someone's on. So, let's see. Google's looking close for us. Yeah, mine seem like they're popping in. Oh, let's see. No? No, I feel like they are. Okay. What else? Stocks lose futures slip after a record rally. So if anyone wasn't there on Sunday, it was interesting. I mean, it's of course different people score different ways. My score dropped a full point last week and is now down 2.25 or even 2.5 if you go back in December from its most recent highest point. The Oracle I officially have changed its name. You might be like, it's a bit bold, isn't it, Scott? Just calling it the Oracle. Fortune favors the bold. We all have heard the saying. Okay. Good as well, Tony Z says. Yeah, like I said, sometimes they have like regional issues based on servers and whatnot. Anyways, I dropped down to a 2.5. Still somewhat holding on to bullish remnants. It's much less bullish, but still, holding on. But it's concerning. And in yesterday's meeting, we talked a little bit about what are people doing because of this. And it's like, okay, I'm taking less trades, I'm taking less risk, I'm tightening stops or taking losses sooner, or yeah, right? We need to make sure that we are adapting to the new market, whatever that is. Right now, it's a market that's deteriorated to some extent. And we know what we're looking for it to get better again, but right now, certainly, caution. It's also dropped. Its high was never as high as mine. It was only as high as 475. And it's dropped 1 point since then. The Oracle's scoring of the long term and the short term at the same place. I mean, look, it did just hit a high point last week. We just touched a new high. So it's like, well, yeah, okay, there's that. The VIX clearly is where a good chunk of his is dropped from. Its has dropped from. But a little bit of a gap between us right now, 375. I'm still a little bit more bullish. I'm getting a little closer to neutral. Let me know if you have any questions on that. I just realized that I was like, I forgot to put the notes in. I'll do that today so that you can see exactly. One of the nice things that it helps us to do is it is pretty clear on, well, what would it take to raise or lower the score. And so that's that. I actually still look at that because I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a good point. I think it's right. If it did that, I would probably lower my score too. Okay, so posture, setting the tone for this week with us a bit more suspicious of everything. Great. What else? China warns its banks to rein in treasury holdings. Japan stocks hit record highs after Takachi's landslide win. Yeah, the international markets have been outperforming us. I wonder if we need to put in I used to have a list of them. Would it be like EWZ? That's Brazil. What was Japan? I had a list of the bigger, more liquid ETFs that are tracking other. EWJ is Japan. Does that sound right? Yeah. There's Japan. That's a nice trend, right? Steady trending. So if you ever like, oh, if international markets are doing better, how would you trade that? Well, a lot of times the biggest companies from international markets come and trade here individually via ADRs, American Depository Receipts. So somebody basically goes and buys a bunch of shares and then relist them here. And, there's a little bit of gapping, but, there's still good markets for some of the largest companies, Nokia, right, Toyota, Sony, right, things like that trade here. Let's see, SNE is Sony. Or at least it used to be, and you can see now something's wrong with it now, but it was an ADR sponsors. I haven't looked for a while. And okay, there's Nokia. You can see up in this. Where's my drawing tools? Up here, it says ADR. So that's when you would know, oh, yeah, no, okay, that makes sense, ADR. But they do have ETFs that trade the entire, basically it's like an SPY of their country that is an ETF that tracks their market. So iShares, is it? I think it is iShares. I showed you Japan and Brazil, Germany has one, South Korea. So there are ways for us to track and watch other markets that are equity markets. Questions about that? Let me know. Let's go look around. If you held some city, made a little bit more of a move. Starting to slow down though, you can see. So it's like, okay, maybe coming to an end. This one ended up being a very nice trade for some of the trade, at least. Ford. I held Ford, not all of it, just a piece of it. I closed half earlier, but I'm pretty much was trying to see if it would get like a little pre-earnings pop. It's not. It's gonna be a little bit of a loss. Yeah, right there you go. Tony and I are in the same spot. So this one's done. Yeah, I mean, it really was just it wasn't much of a loss at all. City until May. I mean, it's definitely kind of hitting some resistance, but the stochastics is reinvigorated. I mean, I'm going to wait till the end of the day, see how it looks. You've got time, but the question is, if because you have time, are you willing to watch it drop because you think it's going to bounce higher next time? Or would you rather just get out and if it drops, get in again for the next time? And that's where people start to find, like, am I better as a trend trader where I get in, stay in? Am I better as a swing trader where I'm always just trying for that one move? Or am I better doing a little bit of both? And that's where, you might hybrid and say, yeah, I'm gonna have some trades that I stay in for a longer period. Though anytime you say a trend trade, I would always take one step back to the weekly. And I'd be like, yeah, the weekly definitely supports holding something a little bit longer. Trying to wake up after watching the Super Bowl. I found it was a boring game. A lot of field goals. I mean, it was all right, I guess. Okay. City, Ford. Are there any other? Oh wait, yes, of course there is. NU. Shoop. NU's, yeah, it's holding up. as good as you could ask for on a day when the rest of the market's down a little bit. This was late Friday, and if anyone put the trade on for today, it would definitely be, I mean, it's moved around a little bit now. It's positive. Clicked out to commercials on other channels. Gabe said, how does MU look? It's looking okay. It's lower than it was Friday. So it's kind of like a, hey, if it looks like this at the end of the day, that might be worth a, you can see the stochastics has turned, made that pinch. However, it was also, got something stuck in my throat. It was also down here today. It looked like this. And if at the end of the day it looks like this, I'd be like, that's not a trade yet. Like I'd wait. So this one is MU impacted by the drop in softwares. I feel like it's benefiting from AI more than it's getting pulled back by anything software related, because it's really, these are the chips for the processing more than anything else. Yeah, okay, so for me, this is still viable potentially for an afternoon trade, but it is going to require, I think it's better to wait a little. That's my thought. A little wait. Make sure that it doesn't turn around in the second half of the day. What was the other one that had a star next to it? So Micron and Google. Oh, Google's close though. Google is close though. So I would say Micron's first. We're going to take it and run some numbers on it here in a minute. We're going to pop through the rest of the list, but let's just, we had a couple that were starred. You can see Google reported earnings. It gapped, pulled back a little, and then shot back up. But then we're kind of pulling back. However, if we hold this with this trend, my thought is, yeah, look, this thing has a great chance of making this next move up. So I'm looking for this. You can see it's pinching on its stochastics. A good day tomorrow would turn it, push it, and we'd have a nice start. So that looks like it's a day away. Let's just kind of pop through and just see what everything is doing right now. Sorry, just taking a quick look at a couple of positions. Alcoa. I mean, it's really just in that same vein here. Now, some people might say, Scott, this thing is turning up. I think this is where it breaks out. Okay, well, hasn't broken out yet. Apple Apple's on the list. It's now back in. Like, this is great. My thought is, like, here's this big candle. I cut that in half. That's right around the same place as the 50. Right now, I feel like there's a great opportunity for this thing to pull back in here. Come down, do this, and now, when would that be? Maybe later this week? It's on the docket. Come on down. Come on down. Okay. Archer Daniels possibly setting up into a trade here as well. It also had a little bit of a interesting reaction to earnings, an initial overreaction. Let's see. AMAT. Applied Materials had a pop. You can see it's a little bit back down to some extent here. You've got earnings in a couple of days. That just couldn't actually end up producing a trade. AMKR earnings basically this afternoon. Amazon well down. APH trying. ASX still looks good. Quite strong there. Breaking up out of earnings. AXP flat. Baba. Baba's right on the bubble for me. You could make an argument for Baba. Let's talk about this one. It broke up, and it did kind of like have a little bit of a waggle, and then it pulled back. And it's like, well, if this is the pullback, it's certainly still a higher low. You can see the stochastics is starting to turn. I actually would believe that there's a Heiken Ashi favorable. Ooh, it's right there. It's close. So I don't think I would have to put a stop all the way down here. I could think about it through the bottom of here, but somewhere in that range. 157 down to 154, somewhere in that. That's the range for the stop. Target, I'm definitely looking at least 180. Maybe even like 182. Like, you can kind of see we touch it here. It's same over here. Maybe 180 to 182. So at 180, you're talking, 182, you're talking 18 and a half. 18 and a half. 163 and a half by 157 and a half. That's about 6 points. 6 for 18. Is the volume low? Let's go take a look. These are millions. So its average volume is 13 million. You can see that even in these 5 red candles, none of them had above average selling. So I would say that the volume neither contributes nor detracts from um, a um, a potential trade. Um, let's see. Um, More evidence of buyers coming in. Okay, that's fair. Oh no, that's a Gabe. That's a, and in fact, where would that be? It might be this point right there, right? Where you say to yourself, the high was 160. Although this is Heikin-Ashi. Let me actually. See, I don't know. Now that I see this, if I waited any longer, maybe waiting for 165. However, obviously, the more we wait, our target doesn't go higher than 182. So, and you can see a lot of times, this is the candle that comes with volume. And ideally, we would already be in, though that one had pretty good volume too. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Then we'll run some numbers on Micron. BCS about to report their earnings. Bud overextended. You can see Citigroup already kind of giving back the gains from this morning. Be careful what you're willing to give back there now that you held through the weekend, if you did hold through the weekend. Caterpillar still overextended, but strong. CF is chopping around, as is Coherent. Cisco, strong but overextended, about to report earnings. Delta, overextended. Dow, okay, yeah, so the Dow's holding up. Dow Chemical maybe flagging. I'm keeping an eye on this one. Strong pop out of earnings, and now in this kind of flag slash pennant setup. Ford rolled over. GE. Okay. Gold up a little bit today. General Motors. If General Motors, like stabilizes in here and then starts to turn back around, yeah. Google, definitely on deck. Google. Goldman. Sandy, I just saw your comment. Once the trend is established, we don't need volume. 100% correct. 100% correct. Volume on transitions. Volume on breakouts. But just bouncing into the trend, nah, I'm good. Home Depot. Let's see. HL. Hecla Mining, no. IBM, no. Intel, just sort of lingering around. IVZ, still in consolidation. IWM, small caps, okay. Lumentum, the beast, continues to roar. Crazy, that stock has gone crazy. LRCX. Lam Research. That one looked interesting to me, actually. It turned and then it's just kind of holding. If it hiccups, I would go. I mean, today's technically viable. You can see your stochastics crossed. It's pulled back a little, so it's giving you just a slightly better entry, interestingly. Let's see. MA. MasterCard giving it back. Meta trying to stabilize. Maybe something develops here. I like Google better. MNST, Monster Beverage. Morgan Stanley, kind of flat. Microsoft down. Micron. Micron is, as you can see, it's pulled back even more now. So you can kind of see why I'm like, let's watch this one. Because it was just looking a little bit more bullish, and we're like, yeah, but if it ends up turning into that bottom half, then we'd be like, maybe not. So, but it's right there. Stochastics is still giving you that pinch / cross. I would definitely want to see it closer to 380. What's the high today? 380, 389. Yeah, I definitely want to see it above like 385 or 6, back into a more positive candle rather than a doji candle. But we'll still play with the numbers here in just a second. FP says revisit Rocket Lab. Sure. Netflix is just a dumpster dive. New, looks okay. Nvidia. Oh, come on. Nvidia pops back up. Interesting. Interesting stock. Kind of a choppy bastard right now. PLTR. Whoops. I jumped past it. Sorry. PLTR. Way down. Just barely hanging on. Nasdaq's turned positive today, but it's still under the 50. Rocket Lab. See, I mean, it's like it's moving like it's trying to like hook. But overall, for me, it still has this constraint. And so if it gets to here tomorrow, but then just like boop pops down again, then I'm thinking, oh, that's the same trajectory. I need it to break through, then come back down, and then if it gets me a higher low, then I'd be like, oh, okay, now we're ready to go. It actually did that exact thing right here. You can see there's the low, and it went up, down, higher low, and then another higher low, and then another higher low. And it gave 3 trades coming out of that consolidation there. The first one was subtle, but we were watching it. Ross Stores. Sideways, just kind of a lot of that going on. RTX looks like it could be turning into a bit of a signal. SLV. Sorry to even talk about it. Looks like it's struggling to hang on. It's giving back quite a bit from the highs. Here's SanDisk. SanDisk looks pretty strong, setting up. Here's SPY, sideways. Market's at least positive now. STX. Maybe something in there. SYY, overextended. Okay, maybe a setup coming on TJX. Tesla's down underneath things right now. Nothing there. TSM. Oh, TSM just sort of made the move that we were looking for a bit earlier. We didn't take this trade, but here's Vail. Viking. VOD was looking pretty strong, but it's pretty choppy. WDC up. Someone said they shorted Walmart. Okay. It definitely looks like it's overextended. I want it to pull back, maybe back down to 125 for a trade. Like, yeah, let's get this thing to come back down a little bit. Okay, let's go play with the Micron trade a little bit more detail. We have some time. We have a little bit of time for that. Let's go into the analyze. Okay. Let's get back to Micron. Oh, and it's did that happen today? It was down at 372. Oh, sure was. Okay. Give me a second, and I'm gonna get an alert template ready to go. Okay. Micron, bullish. What are we thinking? Let's zoom in here. Yeah, I think it's got to be close to 390. So that we don't think it's just like a hiccup. 395. What was this number here? 390. Yeah, 88, 89. Where are you? 388. I'd want to be in by 392 or so. Stop range. So if I'm in at 390, 388, and I have a stop down here at this bottom lever, we'll call it 361. That's 17 points. And the target, 486. 486. That seems big, yeah? Let's give ourselves a little bit more space to see where that I need more still. 14. Apply. Okay, there we go. That's the higher high that we're looking for. Oof, if we get that, that's amazing. That is, we'll put a target in this area, 442, 486. I mean, that's 100 points. That's a 100-point move. You can see that's exactly what it did in here. 100-point move. Volatility is high and coming down. I would say that's like a 10 to 12 day move. 10 to 12 days. It's getting this bad boy ready to go. Ooh, you can see it's pushing back up a little bit right now, kind of in that area. The stop is 17, 18, 20, even at 20 points, you're talking a 5 to 1. Two and a half to 1 to the first target, 5 to 1 to the second target. Maybe even a little higher. It's like a 5.2. I'm going to just guess at it and put it at 5.2. Does anybody have questions on where that number is even coming from, right? We're talking about there's 100 points from here to here. I can actually draw that exactly. $98.7 points in 13 days, 11 bars. So I have 10 to 12. 98 points. Costly options, indeed. That's the next step we're looking at, Gabe. It is. Oh, Stephen D., you're drawing on my chart. They are on a $400 stock and is at high implied volatility. And if you buy the options, and this volatility continues to drop down like it did here, that's going to hurt. Which means then what? We're thinking about maybe a spread trade here. Can I put a spread trade on from 400 to 425 or something like that? That's what I'm thinking about anyways. So we said 486 here, 380 here. No, 370, 361 here. Was it 361? Now I'm forgetting all my numbers. Oh, it's not quite so high if I'm down all the way down here. I'm going to say 364. That's about 25 points. So it's 4 to 1. 4 to 1. I did my math wrong there. Sorry, everyone. That's on me. So 27. So yeah, that's closer to, but I'm going to say 364. So that's closer to a 4 to 1. I can do math. Volatility index is high. High. Expensive options. I'm putting it as Gabe put it. Costly, expensive. Preferred strategy. It's likely going to be a spread. Let's go out. Okay, we're here. No, I want to be closer. Let's say 400 by 410. And you can see it's about 3.7 to 1. But if it takes an extra 10 days, this number here is going to, let's just pop this out to the 24th. You can see I actually get more like 40 because times, once we cross this level here, time's on our side. The longer it takes, the better it is. So if it ended up taking a couple of weeks, we'd actually make 4.3 to 1, which is what we were hoping to make. Yeah, this actually looks okay to me. It's not in a bad spot. This 400 by 410 spread. It's still $3.28, but much better than 1,400 or 2,300. This is, 350. Let's say we'll call it somewhere between 320. It's popping around quite a bit right now. Just went from as low as $3.25 to as high as $4. It's moving around quite a bit, but it's about $350 for a set. If you want it to just be a little bit more cost effective, you could come down and make this 410 by 420. Actually, I probably would do that. Well, let's see, 360. Let's go back to today. Let's go to the 13th. So very similar. I mean, it's basically the same kind of a thing. Yeah. I would say in order to curb the cost. So let me go show you exactly what Gabe's talking about. I mean, this is an out of the money option. This is the 386. So if we went to 420s, that's 35 points out of the money, and we're still paying $2,500 a contract to go out this far. Now, if we were to be like, oh, I want it cheaper, I'm only gonna go. You're only getting 11 days, and you're still right. An at the money option, still $2,000. It's very expensive options, very expensive. That's why I would definitely prefer coming into this thing with like a spread trade. So that's what I'm leaning towards now. This is definitely the type of trade. The March options, a 10-point wide spread. Probably end up with a couple of those and still keep your risk. You can see you could maybe even get 3 of these and keep your risk around $300. That's kind of where I tend to position size things. It's a pretty well-rounded or pretty well applicable risk management. 300. Well, the trade cost would be close to $1,000, so it's still more expensive than like what we sometimes pay for out of the money option trades, but that's to be expected. It's certainly much less at $1,000 than one option, that 1 2-week at the money option for $2,000, right? Much better for our portfolios, and it's still achieving what we're looking to achieve, 4-1, maybe even a little better. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at, is probably a 10-point wide spread going out to March. Any questions about that? Any questions about any other trades that we've looked at? Any questions about today's market? As long as this doesn't fall apart moving into the afternoon, very good chance this comes out. What's the next trade beyond that? I'm looking at Google. I'm looking at Google. All right, it's great to see everybody. Pretty good transition from market posture to trading posture now that we're in market conditions and we're moving forward. There's still things to look at, still things to consider. It's good to see everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, same time as always. Happy trading.